Hey, it's Blair Johnson with the Badass Records podcast, where we talk a little bit about you and some of your favorite albums. Catch new episodes Thursdays on YouTube or stream the audio from your favorite platform. Follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram, and if you'd like to do an in-person episode, hit me up at badassrecordspodcast@gmail.com. It's the Badass Records podcast featuring people, music, and badass records. Thanks for stopping by. So if all goes well, we are recording episode 70 of Badass Records podcast. Brandon and Jesse Rock. Yep. Is that your like birth on your birth? That's your.
I think it was like my dad's side is Ukrainian.
Okay.
So it probably got shortened.
Right.
Somewhere.
I like
along
to
the
say it's Rachmaninoff.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
And you guys have a joint in St. Joe called Sk8bar.
Yeah.
And did it open last January?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, January 28th.
So you made it through the first year.
Yeah.
Is this your first service industry go at any like?
Owning a venue.
Oh, right. But I mean, did you guys like wait tables or cook or
worked
park?
in bars for years.
Okay.
I did promotions out in Vegas for. It was just a promotions company that did nightclubs. Stuff
Okay.
Like that, so.
Okay. Well, congrats on making it a year.
Months.
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
Are you guys just booze, or do you have food too, or?
We have a restaurant next door, connected to us.
Yeah.
That we have like these little scanner thingies, and so people can order food and they'll just bring it over. So kind of.
Yeah,
But it's not your. It's somebody else's.
It's somebody else's.
Okay.
We recently
But-
have been selling hot dogs.
Nice.
We've been doing glizzies.
And
Yep.
Where does that name come from?
I have no clue.
I keep seeing it like.
We
I
put
s-
it on the flyers though and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Every time I see it written like at the top of a meme, I'm expecting there to be like a glazed donut, and then it's a hot dog with toppings.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
I don't
such-
know.
It's such a weird word. I wouldn't have expected it to be hot dogs either
It
until I
also
heard
means
it.
Glock. So
Oh,
like it could be a gun or a hot dog.
okay,
Yeah.
interesting. So walk me through. First of all, how did you guys meet?
Me and Jess,
Mm-hmm.
At a bar.
we met at a bar on St. Patty's Day parade
Okay,
festival.
Yeah.
where at?
thing. It was called Big Shots.
In St. Joe.
Okay,
And
He had a punk shirt on, and I was like,
here, there's my peeps.
right.
put some punk music on the jukebox.
Nice.
Yeah.
I lured him in.
Yeah.
Very cool. So just a quick look. I thought there was going to be a Facebook page, but it
It
wouldn't.
got shut down.
It wouldn't let me. I was like, "What? What is
Yeah,
this?"
it got shut down. We had about 3,600 followers on it. and
Oh man.
Somebody reported. We're thinking it was the MDC Millions of Dead Cops flyers. Somebody got offended by it probably.
Oh boy.
Or it could have been competition. Who knows? But anyway, they reported it a bunch until we couldn't get access it for 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden yesterday it was gone. Just completely gone, wiped out. So I just started a new Facebook page.
Okay.
And it is up.
Okay.
Now. So
And
now
what is it?
People search Sk8bar. It's just Sk8bar. So if you went onto Facebook and looked up Sk8bar, it should come up.
Okay.
It's starting to get. I know it in the beginning it didn't because we didn't have hardly any followers or whatever. But a lot of people that we've been putting it out there that we're back up, and we've had quite a few people.
Okay.
follow us just in the 24 hours.
Okay. Right on.
So it's gaining. It'll be visible.
Cool. So you've got a new Facebook page. You have an Instagram. It's actually at 501 Francis Street. Is that okay? And is there any other way that it's visible online? TikTok.
We have a really silly TikTok
Yeah.
channel, and I've been kind of slacking on making videos. It was super fun though. I have like a lot of regulars participating in it and stuff.
Cool.
Just silly
I'm
stuff.
sure I would bet all the money in my bank account that's what my daughter is doing right now on the couch. It's a wild animal. I was trying to get pieces of episodes up, and had a good head of steam, and then the holidays hit, and I just haven't been able to dip back in. But I mean, if you're not just like creating and posting from the phone, if you're like editing, and then you're it's anyway. I was talking to the guy whose episode is coming out this week. He's in a band called Sexy Accident, and I was telling him how I had a musician from Lawrence over for episode 4, and she had put out the previous year an LP, and then she had put out a single and had something brand new with that was not out yet. So we like listened to all three of those. Like, I mean, we listened to them, but then I had to like put them in on the back end because. Anyway, and then they immediately got muted by TikTok, and I'm like, that's her stuff. It's not a. And that dude from last week, he was like, oh, same deal. I've put up TikToks with my own music, and they immediately.
That happened to one of my videos.
Because.
The copyright, I guess.
Okay.
But I re-uploaded it and put one of those silly voice things on it.
Oh yeah.
And so they didn't catch
Sure.
it that way.
Sure. Okay, so Sk8bar's been open for just over a year. You guys met at a different bar in St. Joe.
Yeah,
did you?
Together like 7 years. So
Okay.
It would have been about 8 years ago, probably.
Right on. Did you guys both are you born and raised St. Joe, or?
Kind of.
Kind of.
Pretty much, yeah. I was in St. Joe, or at least that's where I was born.
Okay.
I grew up south of town, but we've both been in and out of state for our whole adult life.
Sure.
So.
Okay. So for you, do you have siblings?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm one of 7.
One of 7. Okay, man, busy household. And did your folks play music in the home when you guys were growing up, or?
My dad really liked grunge
'Kay.
music, and then kind of punk adjacent stuff like
Sure.
Butthole Surfers.
Yeah.
Some early metal like Iron Maiden, early Metallica. Stuff
Nice.
Like that. So, yeah, I was lucky in that way.
Cool. And then was there a particular album that you either for your first purchase or first fell in love with?
Yeah, that's hard to say. I've had so many different phases of music. I've gone through every genre and
Right.
found something good in every one.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's
How
hard to say.
about first show? Concert?
First show? Like official first show?
Mm-hmm.
Probably Us Best.
Okay. Here?
Yep.
Nice. How long ago?
Oh, it's got to be probably 18 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
right on. What about for you? Do you have siblings?
I just have one.
One? And then
Brother.
music in the home for you too, or?
No.
No.
I definitely didn't get my musical taste from my dad or my mom.
No, they
I got
weren't.
into punk music super early.
Okay, how early?
12,
Okay,
11, 12 years old.
nice.
That's when I started skateboarding. And then, yeah, as far as like an album or whatever, I guess I got introduced probably into punk music through skate videos.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah.
there was a band called Sub Society. It's really obscure. Didn't really make anything. And it's hard to find their music.
Yeah.
There was a song called A Lot Less, and there was one called Rockstar. And that was like kind of my first exposure. And
Okay.
It's funny to bring up Butthole Surfers because that was the one I listened to when I was 12 also.
Nice.
Like I was in Catholic school at the time, and we had a group or whatever that we put together for like, I don't know, book reports or something, and we called ourselves Butthole Surfers. For some reason, the teacher let us do it.
Nice.
It was really bizarre.
Mm-hmm. How about first show for you?
First show? Well, my first shows were super early, and it was at the Outhouse.
Okay.
Outhouse is like a big inspiration in Sk8bar. Like, I even have an Outhouse photo on the wall.
Kind of a shrine.
Meaning Lawrence?
Yeah,
The
Lawrence, yeah.
bring your own
Mhm.
booze.
Yeah, out in the middle of the cornfield.
Okay.
Yeah. So I used to go there when I was 13, 14, hitting punk shows.
Nice.
Pretty much any time we could get out of town, sneak a ride,
Yeah.
we would be down there at the
Okay.
shows, so. First show, I don't know. It could have been like, man, I wish I knew. I'm trying to think of all. I mean, I know I saw Body Count down there.
Okay.
Ice-T.
Yeah.
They made that documentary, and I don't know. It's got that on there. I actually have half my face in that.
Nice.
I saw one of my friends in it, and I was like, hey, that's Joey.
Nice.
Like half my face on it. But, man, honestly, I don't know if I could. I've been to so many concerts.
You guys still get out and see stuff?
Oh, we go.
All the time.
I mean,
Nice.
we see them at Sk8bar.
Right.
Like, we have 5 shows this week coming up. But whenever we leave town, we usually go down to Replay Lounge
Okay.
and check out people.
Yeah.
We go down to Record Bar. Yeah. And
So, are you guys? I mean, you have like operational stuff, like having a staff, ordering product.
it's just us.
Just you.
Yeah.
You guys don't have any employees.
We have a door guy.
Okay.
But he's just not really an employee. He's only there for like on the weekends.
So you guys are
She does
booking
the
shows.
sound. Yeah, she does the sound.
He does most of the booking.
I do,
almost
a lot of
almost
booking.
all of it.
And then we have, like when we started or whatever, I had a friend come up. His name's Mark Milton, and he wanted to be involved in Sk8bar, so he records everything. He
Cool.
has a channel called Milton's Mayhem on YouTube,
Okay.
and it basically records all of our shows.
Nice.
as
he
many
does
as he
that.
can.
Right.
And then he had a friend, Danny Phillips, who they call Dr. 47, who wanted to be involved in like promotions and stuff like that and help booking.
Yeah.
So we brought him on to help us book and stuff like that. So there's 3 of us booking.
Okay.
And so we got that crew, but I mean, that's like, not actual employees, but they're part of our
Right.
little family,
Cool.
our community.
And then, I mean, it's just the two of you serving drinks when shows are happening.
Mhm. Yeah, we do the bartending.
I
She
run
does
back
the
and forth
sound.
between sound and bartending.
Wow.
all day. Yeah.
So busy.
Yeah.
And then the booking is like
Oh, he's
24/7.
I bet.
Even at
constantly
2
on
in the
his
morning, I'll
phone.
be doing it.
I'm sure.
flyers and
Making
talking
flyers.
to bands.
Yeah, we do all the flyer making for the most part, unless the bands are like have their own and
Right.
mailing it. To
Right.
But yeah, we stay really busy, but also we have a lot of fun doing it.
Sure. What's your license? How late do you guys open?
Till 1:30.
1:30. Okay. And then does Sunday have a different time?
Yeah, midnight.
Okay.
They might have changed it. I haven't looked into it too much because
That's-
Sunday nights are pretty dead anyway.
Oh, okay.
Most of
Okay.
the time we're going home at midnight.
Right on. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for getting me lists. If we can start with yours. I wasn't able to pinpoint one of them, but for the most part, I think we're good. Towns Van Zandt, self-titled, 1969. 3rd of 10 for him, 34 minutes, 10 tracks. How'd you discover this guy?
Being into folk music, I have a friend who worked for a country music radio station in Atchison, Kansas.
Okay.
And he would hook me up with all the greatest old country and stuff like that. He introduced me to Towns Van Zandt, and I was like, okay, I love this.
Nice.
It speaks to me in a different way. It has soul, so anything that has like a sense of soul to it, I'm gonna love it. And this album in particular is pretty intense. Some people say a little depressing, but I like that. I like that. So
Nice.
Stuff's cool.
Right?
he's a poet too. Like his lyrics are amazing. He does Travis style picking on guitar, which is
Travis, like the first name?
it's a picking style, like a pattern.
Okay.
Of finger picking. It's called Travis picking.
Interesting.
And I pretty much like anything that uses that picking style.
Sure. Any other artists that use that off the top of your head that might?
Almost almost all old folk music.
Old folk, okay,
and
okay.
Old country, yeah. It's really, or even old blues music.
Sure. Now, is this like a down stroke with your thumb and then coming up strokes with your fingers? Is that what that?
It's an alternating pattern. So a lot of times it'll have like 2 bass, but intertwined with the other strings. So
Okay.
It's essentially the same pattern, but there's variations to it.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Very cool. A little slightly out of chronological order. Go back 3 years, 1966. Little Wheel Spin and Spin. Buffy St. Marie. Is that
Yep.
proper pronunciation? 3rd of 17 for her. 40 minutes, 12 tracks. Never heard of her before. What can you tell me about her?
She's an indigenous folk singer. She's still active, but she tours with some really unlikely musicians like punk, stuff like that.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay.
She's really involved in indigenous rights movements, things like that. I think that's how I found her.
Just on your own?
Yeah, I can't. I'm not too sure, but I have that ADHD hyperfixation thing where if I like something, I want to like find everything like it.
Oh, I love that.
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely.
So yeah, I absolutely love that. Actually, I just remembered I found her through a video, an old black and white video, and it was the song "My Country 'Tis of Thy People You're Dying."
Mm-hmm.
And it just destroyed me.
I mean,
like,
reading the title, I was like, what?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah. It's another one of those things that can be viewed as like, oh, maybe it's a little depressing, but that's part of life. So deal
right.
with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you familiar with both of the rest of their? I mean, it's a lot of records, but their whole discographies. Are you?
2 of her albums I'm very familiar with.
Okay.
Sounds Van Zandt. Oh, I listen to all of it.
It always fascinates me when somebody goes self-titled for a record that's not their debut.
Mm-hmm.
So he put out 2, and then this was. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
interesting. But I think let's see here. So this next one, Subhumans.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't sure which album, and I see 3 studios: Stay the Country Died, From the Candle to the Grave, Worlds Apart, 2929, Internal Rot, and Crisis Point. Was it either of those?
What was the first one?
The Day the Country Died.
It's probably that one.
I guessed right then. Does that look like the right cover art?
Yep.
Okay. I didn't put track listing on there since I wasn't sure, but who turned you on to these guys?
Myself.
Okay.
I got into punk all on my own. My friends were all into metal, but I remember, and I just had this memory recently, that I was at my grandma's house, and she was trying out the satellite thing, and she had MTVX, and there was a Distillers video, and I don't know if you're familiar. It's a female led punk band, kind of in the vein of Rancid. But
is Rancid female?
no.
Okay.
It's like
Just
musically.
Gotcha.
Actually, one of the vocalists from Rancid and the vocalist from Distillers were a thing, so
Oh.
too.
Okay. Interesting.
But I saw that video and I see this woman with a mohawk, and I was like, "What is this?"
Right. My spirit animal.
Yes. So I really deep dove into punk music, and then I found anarcho punk, and that's when I was like,
Is that a sub-genre?
Yep.
Anarcho-punk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even know why I'm asking, because I still don't know where punk ends and post-punk and all of them. So where in the family tree is anarcho-punk?
So, a lot of it lives in the 70s in
Oh,
England.
Okay, gotcha. Right on.
It's an older subgenre.
Sure.
Like bands like Crass. The only thing that kind of distinguishes it from the rest of punk is that it's very political.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
Usually very British.
Right,
And
right.
Sometimes illegible or like crass. Sometimes I can't even understand what they're saying.
Right. Wow. Okay. Very nice. Excuse me. And last but not least, Babes in Toyland. Fontanelle, is that the right pronunciation? Which is 1992, and only 3 records for them. This is number 2, 37 minutes, 15 tracks, and a new bassist for this record because the previous bassist's boyfriend was murdered, supposedly.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, I was like, yikes, but I mean, shit happens, I guess.
Yeah.
Tell me about these guys.
I
Gals.
found out about them because I like this punk band called Wipers.
Okay.
And I was on their Wikipedia, and it mentioned that this band, Babes in Toyland, was influenced to go into punk music. The singer of Babes in Toyland was. And so it's another one of those fixating on
Sure.
music and then just clicking on everything. And
Nice.
But I didn't get exposed to them super early. I was probably in my mid-20s.
Okay.
But the vocalist is so distinct.
Nice. I mean, their name, I've been aware of them for years and years. I mean, it's like, it was surprising to discover that they only put out 3 studio albums.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how I would have come across them, but I've definitely, I mean, maybe they were in the old Columbia House.
They played at
yeah.
Riot Room.
Okay.
About 9 years ago.
Did they really?
So, yeah,
Nice.
I went to that show. It was great.
Very cool. Backing up a step, MTVX. What was that, and when was it?
I was probably 16-ish, so 20 years ago. It was a metal and punk only
Nice.
MTV. So,
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Did they have more than music videos? Did they have programs like?
As far as I remember, it was almost all music videos.
Wow.
They might have had that show that had the guy from Anthrax that was hosting it.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Scott
Ian. Yeah.
Ian,
Yeah.
He hosted a little
Goatee,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yep, unmistakable.
Uh-huh.
Scott Ian Goatee.
Yep.
That channel, it played a lot of really early stuff that you wouldn't see on regular MTV.
Sure.
So I saw a Red Hot Chili Peppers video that was when they were way more punk.
Sure.
And yeah, that was a little confusing. But
Right.
I got to see all kinds of videos. This was before YouTube and stuff, so it was awesome.
Right. Nice. And then backing up one more step, can you tell me a little bit more about skateboard videos and that becoming part of your world and how? And
I just, like I said, I got in with a group of kids around that time in the neighborhood, and we all just skated and then just hanging out and like hearing different music or just going. And I always used to buy the videos, and part of it was to watch, to get pumped up to skate for one, but also for the music.
Yeah.
Because
Are we talking VHS?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I would get like Streets on Fire, which is Santa Cruz, Propaganda, which is Powell Peralta.
Yeah.
Search for Animal Chin, all the old school ones. I said Propaganda. What is that? Oh, Reason for Living. That was another great one. There was the one, H Street Hocus Pocus. I think that might even be where I found Sub Society.
Okay.
But anyway, that got me into Descendants, Blast, all the like Naked Ray Gun, just all of them are. It was so hard for me to come up with the list. There were so
Right,
many
right.
of them, yeah, that were influential
Right.
in that time.
Well, speaking of Circle Jerks, 6, which is their 5th record. I was like, you guys.
They're great.
13 tracks, 29 minutes. You got a copy of this one on the wall at Sk8bar, did you say?
Yeah, I found it in Portland, and it's a 1987 copy.
Nice. Of
Yeah,
vinyl?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and so it's hanging in Sk8bar, and I don't know if I can if I can get Keith Morris to show up to Sk8bar, I'm going to have him sign it.
Have you reached out? Have you looked for him on Twitter or anything?
We were going to go to Off when they played here a few weeks ago, but
that's another band that he's
she
in.
was sick.
Oh,
we didn't
okay.
make it down that night, but eventually, I mean, we just had MDC roll through, which
Okay.
is also legends that we've been wanting to get. So we're hoping that maybe he'll end up rolling through.
Nice. Do you find typically that it's relatively easy to break even / make a profit for shows, or?
Well, all the ticket sales and everything go to the bands. Like, we never make a profit off any bands.
Oh, okay.
So all of
Just
our money comes
making
from
money.
alcohol and
Okay,
stuff,
okay, right on.
And merch, our merch.
You
We don't take any money from them either on merch or whatever. So it's basically, it's alcohol
And,
and
shirts,
Sk8bar shirts.
if we have them.
And skateboards, because we
And
are a
skateboards,
skateboard shop.
yeah.
All our skateboards
Seriously?
are hanging on the
Yeah.
wall.
Oh, man,
so if
that's
you
awesome.
See a board that you like, you can buy it. Other than the ones I have an Agent Orange one signed when they came through. Mike Vallely's been at our place 3 times now.
Okay.
And he's signed his decks. So those that are I have them in a certain part of the wall.
Sure.
It's like,
Are-
okay,
so-
those aren't for sale.
The ones that are for sale, are they just decks or are they ready to roll?
No, I can build them.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
he
a little,
builds them in house.
Oh, fun.
Mhm.
Nice.
So I have right up by the register. There's trucks, wheels, grip tape, all that.
Very
stuff.
cool.
People can pick what they want, then I put it together.
Nice. Bearings.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All of it.
It can be pretty intense sometimes. It'd be like a busy concert night, and somebody wants to
Yeah.
come
Build a
play,
skateboard?
and he's at the bar like rolling the grip
Rolling
tape,
grip,
and like people
serving
are like
drinks.
beer, and he's got like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
So you got beer like on tap or bottles or
Bottles and cans.
Yeah.
bottles and cans?
And-
Excellent.
And some liquor, like we have a little liquor fridge too.
Yeah.
Okay.
The basics like whiskey, vodka stuff. We can mix up like Jack and Coke or vodka Red Bulls. but that's
Okay.
about it.
That now you're talking my language.
Yeah.
You got sugar free?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't do
He's
sugar.
sugar
so,
free.
yeah.
Okay. Very cool. So your profit's coming from drinks and I didn't see a website, but is there an online place to get a Sk8bar shirt, or is it just in person at the
Not
joint?
yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
And
So are you ordering like X number of this size, that size, and that size, and then it's just your
yeah, we just have them hanging on the wall.
okay.
Yep.
People can get whatever size they want.
Right
And
on.
special order too. If it's like somebody wants a 3XL or something and we don't have one,
Yeah.
we can get it
We
pretty
have a
quickly.
we have a local guy that screen prints
Okay.
our shirts.
And then you just go pick up a box or whatever when the order's ready. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm using. I mean, I don't know. This is probably more cumbersome than you are interested in, but the Squarespace website for this that I had somebody build, like they have a subsidiary print shop, and so and there's just hundreds and hundreds of things. Like I didn't look too deep because I wanted to just put basics out there, but so I have like a coffee mug and a tumbler and some beanies and ball caps and shirts, and you just upload the stuff, and then if somebody orders it, then it gets made and shipped, and then
It just comes straight from them to the
yeah, and then
customer.
so then let's see, you've got to pay the print company their price, and then there's a little bit left over for you for a profit.
Yeah.
But it's whatever. Like I have had very, very few orders. Most of them have been mine, just getting shit for myself. But it completely eliminates, the need to order a box, go pick it up, and then an order comes in and you got to ship it or
Yeah.
whatever. Because I thought, I didn't know that would be an option. And initially I thought if I want to have like say 15 things, like am I gonna have to store 15 cases, and then of course you get into sizes, and then
Yeah.
I was like, oh yes, take 100% of the effort off of my plate. That's what I'm talking about. I'll have to come. I definitely want to get a shirt and check the place out and see the boards and all that stuff.
We get a lot of people, especially now. We've been at it for a little over a year. We have quite a few people from Kansas City that come up.
Nice.
Now, so which is awesome.
It's a point of pride for us because that's not something that happens in St. Joe.
Yeah.
Folks, what is it? 45 minutes basically.
Yeah.
Folks, you mean folks coming up there for a destination spot?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for shows and
very cool.
just to hang out and stuff. Like I know there's Trent or whatever that he comes up quite frequently, and we didn't even know he's from Kansas City.
Who's this?
His name is Trent.
There's this punk kid that's there quite often. We thought he was a local, but he was just traveling all the time.
Nice.
Yeah, which is cool. We love to hear that.
So 1987 to 1989, No Legs to Stand On, Sub Society. Let's see, they did just this one LP on cassette and then a pair of EPs.
Yeah,
right.
Basically, they weren't around very long.
But out of San Diego, which, if I remember correctly, was like a real punk hub.
Yeah, it's like Hermosa Beach.
Yes,
had Descendants, Black Flag, Circle Jerks.
Yeah.
Man, that I always told her it would be great to have lived there during the 80s.
Right.
In Hermosa Beach. But yeah, in Sub Society they were in that same genre, and they just, as far as I know, just on like skate videos and stuff. Did they tour? Maybe. I don't know.
Right.
I think they probably just played locally more than anything.
Sure.
Yeah, so I just remember them as like my earliest, because way back when I was, like 12 years old, 13. I don't know, when I was young.
Yeah.
I remember hearing anything that was on skate videos.
Right.
That's pretty much all I did.
Right.
I skated like 8 to 10 hours a day.
No
I'd get out
kidding.
of school, and then I'd skate till like I had to sleep.
Okay. Any noteworthy injuries back when you were?
Man, not really.
You were
like, I was pretty lucky on skateboard as
nice.
far as that goes. I mean, I did have
skiing though.
Yeah, I broke my hand inlining, and then skiing. I've had some. Skiing's my favorite sport. I used to compete doing that.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. I got a pretty good concussion doing that.
Oh,
but
boy.
Yeah, skateboarding, I will say it really, like, I had to quit it for a few years, and that's why I went to aggressive inline, was because my ankles were so bad. And not from, like, just big injuries, just from repetitive year after year.
8 to 10 hours a day.
Yeah, just, like, rolling them. They blow up. And then I'd usually never go to the doctor either, so you never know. But it was all purple, and then I'd wait for it to go down. And then I'd skate again, I'd roll again. And so finally the doctor was like, you're going to have to like quit like long term, longer than just taking a few weeks off and jumping right back on. So that was one of the reasons. And then, but since we've opened Sk8bar, I've been like, this last year I've gotten hard back into skateboarding.
Really?
47, and I love it. Yeah.
So I'm assuming there's a good spot or two around St. Joe, or?
Our curb in front.
Yeah, really?
We'll
our
curb
have
is black.
We'll have wax.
from
wax.
Yeah.
We'll have like 15 people out there skating sometimes.
Yeah, it's cool during shows. You'll have the band going, then you'll have a whole group of skateboarders out. Just
cool.
Shredding the curb.
Is this? Do you get? So I'm assuming shows are audible outside.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can definitely hear it.
Nice. What are your neighbors like business wise?
St. Joe's a ghost town, so the only business close to us is that restaurant, and they close pretty early in the evening. So we're pretty much all by ourselves.
So no issues, no complaints, no.
Never.
You guys can just do your own thing and be left alone.
Yeah, and we act like silly gooses all the time outside. It gets pretty wild.
Yeah, and Aaron over at RC's is cool anyway.
Yeah.
Like, they'll stay open later for like when Valley just came through, they stayed open later, and that's like part of his like guarantee. He wants RCs. Like, they freaking love RCs, so it's like part of the the deal when they come. And so he stays open later for that kind
for
of thing.
particular shows.
Yeah.
No, if he knows.
If he knows it's going to be really crowded, because we do send a lot of people over his way, you know.
So what is this
anybody we
thing?
can.
Like, is it like a QR code that takes you to an online menu? You said we have a
Yeah.
little thing. Okay.
Yep.
Very
Yep.
cool. Nice. So Fugazi, 13 songs.
You're down to my all-time 2 favorite bands.
Well, so you know, at some point in my journey, very hypocritically, I was like, you know, compilation albums and greatest hits albums suck. You want the feel of what they recorded when they went in the but my collection was littered with greatest hits albums while I'm like spouting this nonsense. So originally I was like, oh, it's a compilation, and then I was like, oh, it's their first 2 EPs combined, which I think is really cool, and supposedly it was their most successful or most popular. I don't remember which, but
I listened to it nonstop there for certain periods of my life. And it was, I mean, Repeater was amazing too.
Yeah.
It was hard to do. My very favorite all-time song is Blueprint, which
Okay.
is off of Repeater.
Okay.
But this one just has so many of the ones I like.
Right.
You know, like Waiting Room, of course.
Yeah.
Everybody loves.
Repeater. I have a chest full of embarrassing stories across life, but one of them, I am like 2 months into my freshman year of college down in Pittsburgh, Kansas, and helped a dude, like, so friends with a couple buddies that I just met in the dorm. One of them has an older brother that has been down there for 2 years going to school, and so he's living in a house. He's moving, and so he says, bring all your friends, I'll feed you beer all day, help me move. So we drank all day and then went out, and by the time the last call lights came on, I was not sober, and I ran into, literally, I was like, oh, I gotta get out of here, I gotta go pass out, and I ran into somebody coming in, and it was like this funny, it's like the Scott Farkas and Grover Dill from Christmas Story. Do you know that movie?
Yeah, the Scott Farkas, that was
The bully.
redheaded kid, yeah, the bully.
Yeah, and so he's big, and then his little accomplice is small.
Yeah.
This pair was like, one guy that I ran into was huge, and the other guy was very small, but they were looking for a fight, and I was trying to find my bed. And the little guy was like talking to me and distracting me, and the big guy, while I wasn't looking, put his cigarette out on my face and then broke my jaw in 2 places with one shot and knocked me out, and I had to get my jaw wired shut, and it was this whole crazy ordeal. I smoked a lot of pot back then, so I all of a sudden had this window where I didn't, because I was, you know, dealing with all this stuff. And the first opportunity I had, somebody's go to this dude's house, and he's got like this 3-foot bong and speakers mounted up in the corner, nice speakers, and repeaters playing. And I got way, way higher than I should have. And like that album really, really fucked with me. I mean, it's really intense. Like I had never heard anything like it, and I still, to this day, like I see that cover art in it, you know, like, you know what I'm saying?
Flashbacks.
Yeah. But they, I'm not trying to say anything else about any artists of any of the genres, but I feel like they've sort of always been sort of pedestaled. Like there's a lot of respect for them,
I think so,
technically,
too.
and
like Ian MacKaye especially.
yeah, and you know, I feel like they, you know, belong to a genre or a subgenre or whatever, but also I don't think anybody ever really made music like that until they came along. Like just unique to me.
I thought it was very unique too back when I heard them. And then, I mean, they came from Minor Threat. So when you consider Minor Threat to Fugazi, like if I had to pair just an all-time, like, lifetime of work, like Ian MacKaye's top for me.
Sure.
I love Minor Threat too. It's another one that's hard to distinguish, but
Minor Threat was the first punk band I ever heard, and I just remembered this, and it's a story similar to yours. I had my very first job at Pizza Hut, and one of the workers was like, "You want to smoke weed?" And I'd never smoked before, and I was like, "Yeah." So we got in his Jeep, and we're driving around the cornfields, and I get very, very high, and he's playing Minor Threat, and it was just like, it just felt really echoey, but I really loved it. I was like, this is amazing.
Nice. Well, there's a pretty lengthy list of quotes and things said about 13 songs, but the one that stuck out the most was Kathleen Hanna of Bikini Kill.
nice.
Said 13 songs is to underground music what Led Zeppelin 4 is to suburban potheads. And I was like, yeah, that's a very nice parallel right there. So that one was 89, and then we leaped 2007. Dead Again, Typo Negative. I know that's not the full cover art.
Yeah.
The final Typo Negative, 7th of 7.
Mm-hmm.
10 tracks, 77 minutes, although I apparently there was a Best Buy version that was much shorter.
Always long songs.
Yeah. So the CD insert folded out into the shape of a cross with Gregory Rasputin's head at the top. And then the media tray has his autopsy information written on it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What are we?
I mean, back when they did Origin of the Feces, one of their first albums, it was a picture of his butthole.
Nice.
So, and they kind of blurred it to where it was like, kind of couldn't distinguish it after a while. You're like, what is that?
Right.
But
But
that's what it was.
it's a beehole.
But yeah, Peter Steele was awesome. It's like and I mean, my favorite album was October Rust. You asked what albums we had. I'm trying to find October Rust on vinyl, but I have Dead Again, which I love that one too. It's got like, the Hell and Farewell to Britain and These Three Things is one of my very favorite, which looks like about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Which doesn't surprise me.
What are the titles of the second to last and the last track?
That's the second to last. Is an ode to locksmiths.
Which just strikes me as really clever. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then the Britain one, right?
Yeah, Hail and Farewell to Thee Britain.
Yeah.
Which I like that one a lot too.
Nice.
Just like with Typo Negative, it was always just the sound, not even the lyrics, it was just the sound of it that always got me. And I got into that later in high school when I found them, and I was going through a little gothy phase. But I mean, I kind of liked always, and I still love dark wave and goth music, so.
Dark wave?
Yeah, dark wave is kind of like, oh man, it's hard to explain. It's kind of like, it's got a little electro to it, but also it's just dark music. It's like creepy sounding. Moody. Yeah, it's just very much a mood.
Interesting.
But they're the same, like goth metal. I always considered them I know they're called doom metal. People call them all kinds of different things, but I went and saw them probably like 7 times in my life. I was really happy that I did. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now,
I've seen them probably second most. I've probably seen Guar probably anywhere from 15 to 20
Where?
times in my life. Just they used to play frequently. Almost every year they would come to Kansas City or Lawrence. Lawrence is mainly Granada.
Okay.
Yeah, Granada and Lawrence is mainly where I would see, and that's mainly where I saw Typo. Probably 4 of the times that I saw them were at Granada.
Are you a pit guy? You get in there?
I love the pit.
Mix it up. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Jesse even gets in the. I mean, this last Black Flag show at Sk8bar, we were in there from start to finish. I think we didn't ever get out of the pit.
And I mean, just slamming into folks, and
I thought I was gonna get crushed to death.
She had some bruises on her legs.
I'm fine with that.
You're fine with getting crushed to death.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than aging.
Right. So, is Guar's pit different than others?
They get pretty intense. I've been to punk rock bowling a few times. Probably the most intense one I've been in is Agnostic Front.
Okay.
Out there, because it's like thousands of people, so the pit itself is just gigantic.
Jeez.
It's like you're trying to find your way through it. If you want to get out of it, you're like, you got a ways to go.
Yeah. Wow.
But
now
yeah.
you've seen Typo 7 times. Do they hit you with a fresh set list every time, or is it relatively the same set of songs? Or
it was always different albums. They always took a while. It always seemed like there were 3 and 4 years between tours.
Okay.
Whereas Sk8bar it was almost every year.
Sure.
So that's why I got to see them so much. Type O was one of those bands where they took a while to put out an album.
So you think, like, when they would tour, are they touring in support of the new album, so they're playing a good bit of new stuff, but then some old stuff too?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
okay,
kind of like that. And the October Rust tour was amazing because they were always very visual, and like he was gigantic, so he would come out sometimes with just playing like the stand-up upright bass, except just holding it like it was a little guitar. And it's this massive thing, and he'd just be holding it because he's like 7 foot. He really was like 6'7" or something like that. But they had like during Too Late Frozen, which is one of my favorite songs on that album. They had fake snow coming down, and it ended up being just feathers that had been cut just small, and it just fell all over the Granada. And I mean, they dumped enough to where it like coated the whole.
Really?
Wow! They went all out on it, and it just was.
I wonder if they let the venue know ahead of time that that's what they were gonna do.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as bad as Sk8bar.
Right.
What? Tell me.
Soaks any place they play. It's just covered in like fake blood. And
For real? That they like.
They'll like say, I don't know, when Bush was in there or something, they bring out these dummies and they'll like chop off the head or whatever, and then
it's a whole
thing
theatrical
of blood just
really
shoots out, and the guy's like this, and you're just soaking everybody. So in a pit, it was great because you'd be super hot, then you'd be be like, hey, hit me.
Get me right, nice.
So they would soak you,
nice.
And then you're like, oh, that feels great.
So what else has, sort of like I mentioned about Fugazi, Sk8bar has always kind of they belong wherever they belong, but also they're kind of their own thing. Like, what is it that has made them stand out and be different?
It definitely their stage show.
Okay. Okay.
Definitely. And then Dave Brocky died. The new guy, I mean, they're still great, but I liked it a lot more back when Dave was doing it.
What about sonically? Their sound, was there something that made them different from some of their contemporaries?
It was just kind of metal.
Okay.
I mean, it was definitely the stage show. I mean, some of their, like Scum Dogs of the Universe, I really liked the music on that. Was probably my favorite album of theirs, like musically. And that was when they were starting early, I remember I've told her about it. I went to one at the Bottleneck a long time ago when I was in my teenage years, I think. But they ended up, that's when Sylvester Hyman was in the band, and she would blow fire into the air. And she blew fire up, and it caught the ceiling on fire.
Oh, no.
And so they ended up getting kicked out.
Oh, man.
And then they came out naked. Like, after they had been, the show had ended or whatever, they just came out.
Nice.
Going through the place naked, basically.
Did they ever do super throaty stuff vocally, Sk8bar? Like the scream metal kind of sound? No?
No, it wasn't like that at
Okay,
all.
okay.
Especially with Dave, I think it was just like he would yell and stuff like that.
Sure.
It wasn't like high-pitched
Right.
screams or anything like that. Kind of like Screamo or whatever. It wasn't like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if I misworded the ask for your lists, I apologize. But the want was all-time favorite, most influential, listened, go-to album. Not necessarily that you currently own or own on vinyl, but just favorites. And that
that's what.
Okay,
were.
but in addition to your 4, are there any others that you want to give shouts out to, or?
I mean, for me, it was she had one of mine.
Okay.
Babes in Toyland.
Okay,
Loved
nice.
Babes in Toyland.
Okay.
I mean, back when I went and saw one of the Lollapaloozas that had Hole and Sinead O'Connor and L7 and
L7.
and back then Babes in Toyland didn't get that like publicity back then, but Babes in Toyland was always my favorite.
Okay.
Of all, like.
L7 rings a bell, but what was, I can't remember why.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were pretty popular back in the 90s, and they toured. They were kind of in the same genre as like Hole.
Okay.
And I mean, I guess you would consider them punk or Riot Girl.
Kind of grungy.
Yeah.
Kind of. I would put them leaning somewhere in the middle there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, any other albums for you that stand out that didn't make your list?
This is the scariest question for me ever. It really is very overwhelming because I'm such a music nerd. I just sort of took shots in the dark with these.
I think that's a great approach. I mean, because if I think about it for myself, a top 10, that would be pretty easy. And then as soon as you start, you're like, or top 20, and then it's like, I actually don't know where my list ends because it's
a top 1,000 or something.
Right.
with my love of just about every genre, I could do a top 5 per genre.
Sure.
Maybe, but it was very challenging.
Cool.
But I threw those out there.
Nice.
Right now my favorite artist is a band from Denver called Legs the Band.
Legs the Band.
Yeah.
And you found them out how?
They booked at
Came to our
Sk8bar.
place,
Yeah.
On their own.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
he was playing them over the speakers because before he booked stuff, he likes to listen to it.
Listen to it.
And I think I was stringing my guitar or something, and I just passively was hearing it, and I was like, what is this? This is awesome. I've never heard anything like this before. And then they came and played, and by the time they got there, I'd already known all of their songs.
Nice.
So it was really cool, and they have a huge following in St. Joe now because they've been there like 3 times.
Wow. They come out from Denver.
Yeah, they
Cool.
played her birthday show.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then,
So-
there's some really good bands that we just never heard of that have came through our spot that were just like, wow.
In a year, and change a small.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fantastic start.
Yeah, there was like Hayes Noble just came through. He's
Yeah.
getting ready to move to Montana, but he's going to come to our place in July before he does. He was amazing. Like even Kansas City, I thought Emmeline Twist was amazing.
Raytown Gutter
Oh, yeah,
Buds.
Gutter Buds.
That's
Gutter
like
Buds are awesome.
they've become like our in-house band at this point.
Oh, nice.
They're amazing.
Very cool.
We love
Yeah.
them.
I think I've been messaging with somebody from Emily and Twist, so they might come and do one too.
Yeah, they're great.
Right on.
Music's great.
Yeah.
It's kind of dark wavy.
Yeah.
So you said stringing your guitar. How long have you? Is this a 6-string acoustic? What do you electric?
I started with bass guitar
'Kay.
and got bored with it. Then I decided I wanted to learn classical guitar. And then from there, I kind of got bored with that. Then I went to electric guitar, and that's what I play now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you have?
I usually like genre.
No. Make and model for your electric.
A white guitar.
A white guitar.
Was it a
I think
Jackson?
it's a Jackson. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what the model is.
Sure.
It's nothing fancy.
And you were stringing it because.
Just putting new strings on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
How often are you doing that, and how often are you playing?
I have so little free time, and it just comes in like my inspiration to do stuff comes in these short little spurts.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'll get super fixated on it for a short time, and I'll move on to my next little
Right,
interest.
right.
And I'll come back to it. So.
Before this, did you have you played any instruments?
Really just acoustic. I play a lot of folk
Okay.
type
Nice.
music, but now I'm trying to branch out into punk, which is weird to go in that direction because punk is so much easier to play than folk music.
Right. Lot of power chords and
Yeah.
not necessarily picking styles.
Mhm.
What about you? Have you ever played anything?
No, I had a bass guitar when I was probably like 12, like I was talking about, and I figured to me it was like I had to choose between skateboarding or music.
Ah, yeah.
And I had a friend who was a skater at the time, and it's funny because he ended up going the opposite way. He ended up becoming a really good musician.
Oh, really?
And kept doing his music while I was just got just addicted to skateboarding.
Skater
Just,
die.
Right?
yeah, and I was just like, that's what was my life at that point. So, I just didn't play it. Ended up selling it or whatever.
Right.
And then I've been into extreme sports ever since.
Sure.
I still haven't stopped. So.
I saw something that kind of description of the Sk8bar, and it mentioned extreme sports. So what all's under that umbrella?
Well, it would just be like skateboarding for Sk8bar. We thought about it's not the market for like selling skis or anything like that, especially with Snow Creek and the way the weather's changing and all that. Like the season down there is getting shorter and shorter.
Seriously?
Yeah. Like I bet.
Is that a global warming thing? Is it really?
Yeah.
I mean, that last winter was mild as hell, and then
they
the
were
previous
only
two
open for like 3 weeks to a month.
Are you serious?
The
Oh my
year.
God, they can't.
It just seems like a pattern that it's been going on.
And it's everywhere too. Even in Utah, when we lived there, we were ski instructors and
Like Park City or something.
All over.
Park City we lived mostly, in Salt Lake, but Park City we taught, and
we would encounter like these old mountain men. They would be talking about how every year like they get less and less snow and that and stuff like that.
Then this year they set a record for it.
Yeah, they had some anomaly kind of.
Well, there were some parts of California where it was like they might not ever dig themselves out. Like it was bananas. How many
you'll
feet?
Get those type of years. But yeah, in general, especially in the Midwest, this was by far the worst year they've ever had.
Man, they can't be making money if their seasons keep getting shorter.
Well, and I know the Greniers sold it, and now Vail Resorts owns it.
Oh, do they really?
Just loaded anyway.
Right.
Vail Resorts owns all
the major
It even
ones.
owns Park City now.
Oh, funny.
They bought out a bunch of different things. So that's probably why it's still open. I don't know.
Right. So before Sk8bar, you guys remind me what you guys did job wise.
Just before Sk8bar, we were both FedEx truck drivers.
No kidding.
Delivery. Yeah.
How was that?
Post COVID, awful.
Pre-COVID,
because it was just too busy.
But yeah.
Because there was a crazy uptick and
then it just never went away.
Right.
They just keep the same load on everybody. So I just finally got tired of it.
I mean,
we had been talking about this anyway, but we were just like, let's go for it because.
That's cool. Today, I had a very small window time-wise to run an errand that I should have not tried to fit it into this window. But I borrowed those stools from my kid's mom. She has a bar with stools at it, and she just lives a block away. But I was shopping because I was trying to figure out where am I going to put you guys. And so it's not the first time that I've done this, and I know that it's user error, but I found an affordable stool at Home Depot. And they were on sale, and they looked okay. And I was like, I better go get those before they're gone. And the drive down there was just, there's so much construction happening right now, and especially Maine with like all the whatever it is, light car, rail car stuff. It was crazy how long it took me to get a very short distance. And then when I'm in there, I'm like, walking around, I'm thinking of the dozens and dozens of memes, that you see about places like that and employees. And I'm like literally scanning for an orange vest. And I found 4 people that like not only did not know when I see somebody in a place like that, I'm like, do you know where stuff is? Because if they don't, I'll just look, and all 4 of these people were like, what? And I was like, stuff that you sell here, do you know? And it was like they were all so incredibly socially awkward with no knowledge. And I feel like that's how it is now. Like go to CVS and I'm like, where did you come? Like you should not be in a job where you're facing customers.
It didn't take very long, did it?
No. And so what ended up happening is that I just didn't read the internet right, and it's an online order only. So the whole trip was wasted down there, and I didn't want to do it anyway, but I also wanted to get these stools back and sort of have the piece. Anyway, I was just, and it was like, all I could think about on the drive home was like this, there were like 7 examples in that whole process of why I'd just rather have somebody deliver it to my house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so weird that like right on the other side of COVID, it was not like that at all.
No.
Like people were like friendly and knowledgeable, and also driving places is weird these days. I mean, so many people aren't paying attention. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't get me started, but
we never had to like quarantine or anything like that. We worked through the entire thing.
Really?
So I think that's the only reason. Like our social awkwardness is just who we are.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, no, they
Sure.
didn't. FedEx, it was like
So, but-
everybody worked.
But you,
Yes.
to start a shift, you report someplace and have interactions with people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did they like do masks and plexiglass or anything?
Off and on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, long story short, it was a job, and then the workload just kept ticking
Yeah.
up, and
Oh, yeah.
they're just.
So like during the peak season, which is around Christmas time,
Mm-hmm.
they'll give you helpers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But COVID era became like a nonstop peak.
Yeah, you were
And you
just
didn't
peaking
get a
the
helper.
entire time.
Damn.
So it was, yeah.
Now, is that a situation where like you can work as much as you want and there's time and a half available, or is there a perk if your workload keeps growing? Is there a reason for you to be interested in that?
FedEx, the drivers are contracted through contractors in order to, undercut
Yeah, FedEx
benefits and
ground.
things like
Oh,
that.
geez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was basically just salary.
Oh, man.
But I mean, if some of the contractors would give you a little more or whatever, if it was like exceptionally huge, but
You have to have a.
it wasn't worth it as far as
Sure.
we're concerned. I'm more about, I would rather do fun things and spend time with my family other
Right,
than
right.
just get money and
Right.
just sleep.
Do you have to have any kind of special driver's license for that gig?
It's like
or-
Class E.
Class E, yeah.
So you got to go get it.
Mhm.
Okay.
I didn't in Oregon. I'm not sure why. Maybe.
Oregon was much more chill because we were
Yeah.
right on the ocean, and
Mm.
it was, COVID up there wasn't really super prevalent during the whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
so,
Interesting. So before that, what kind of stuff were you guys doing?
ski instructing. For
Okay,
sure.
nice.
We traveled around doing that. We did that in Salt Lake City, and then most of my life's just been like factory, just really crappy factory work.
Sure.
Metal
Yeah.
work, carpentry, just all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Concrete.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's a fun one.
So
Yeah, I've also been a laborer.
Mhm.
My whole
Okay.
life.
So I mean, is there short-term and or long-term goals for the bar? Is it a thing that you just the way it is, you love it just that way, and you want to keep it exactly the way it is, or
We're taking it a day at a time.
Right.
pretty much, yep.
yeah, and we're always updating. Like we're
Yeah.
always adding stuff to it.
Uh-huh.
nice?
And
And
even our patrons.
Our
We just
patrons
did
are very involved with everything.
Mhm.
That's why I think Sk8bar has the reputation it does, because it's such a community effort.
Cool.
People are always coming up to us like, "Hey, you should talk to this band," or like,
or doing art everywhere.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
There's a huge
Have our walls
artist
open for
presence.
art.
Nice.
Our door guy's an artist, and he invited a group of people of other artists in to paint the walls and stuff like
Okay.
that. So.
So yeah, it's always getting different things put up in there.
Cool.
People just bring in random decor and put it up.
Nice.
You want this one? Sure.
It's
Right.
very DIY.
Hey, that's cool though. Bucket list items for either of you guys?
I don't know, just get out and travel again.
Yeah?
Eventually.
Top
Yeah.
1 or 2 places you want to go, or
I would love to go to Iceland.
okay.
There's a lot of places. That's another one, just like music. It's like, oh man, I don't know. So many
Everywhere.
places.
I want to go everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Nice.
We've been all over United States.
I've
and
never
I love
left
the
the
West,
country.
West Coast.
Same. Yeah.
Hmm.
The East Coast is weird. I mean,
Yeah.
like weird in that like I've just by circumstance, that's where I've done almost all of my travel is like, Oregon and Washington and California.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't go to,
hilarious.
I've been in New York once, and it was in 2017. I went to Atlantic City last summer, and saw a decent amount of Pennsylvania, but it's a different animal on the east.
Yeah, we
So-
loved Utah. Like, as far as just like a state that just has everything and really beautiful.
Right?
Utah was great.
Yeah, I was just looking. A friend was just doing like a post-school year, husband, wife, 3 kids trip, like in all like hitting. I think they hit 8 state parks or something like that. But Eastern Utah, Bryce, Canyonland. Zion and Arches, and I did some backcountry one time at Dead Horse Point State Park.
There's Coral Reef.
It's
there's so many of
crazy.
them. So nice.
Utah's like 2 different universes in one
Mhm.
state. Northern's the Alpine Mountains, and
Right.
in the Salt Lake, which is its own kind of thing.
Anomaly.
And then the southern is all red rock and
Rock, yeah.
It's just like you look at some of that stuff, and it's like this is literally just time and water
yeah.
over more time than I can compute up in this dumb,
Yeah.
But it's a real good way to like have a reminder of like how small we are.
Yes, I felt that on Angel's Landing for sure. That was scary.
Yeah, and then if you ever get Antelope Island, that's right in the middle of the Great Salt Lake.
Okay.
When you hike up to the peak of that thing, like the view once you get up there is just like otherworldly for sure.
Right. Wow. So you guys inherit $85 million tomorrow. What's your first move, and how different, if at all, does your life look moving forward?
You go first.
Yeah, we've always talked about having just some land and a community on it, just like
A
community of
commune.
friends and family. Honestly, I would just want to help those people that we're talking about with it. I don't, even with Sk8bar, we're not doing it for money, for sure.
But
Especially
are you
in St. Joe?
right? But you're paying your bills with it, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, just to live comfortably
Sure.
and have fun. Like all my sports and stuff, and all the stuff I love to do. I love doing it. Like I get so much enjoyment out of it. I don't like, of course, having some extra money would
Sure.
help with those things
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Definitely would travel. I'm sure we would travel. Just
Yeah.
like nonstop.
Yeah.
Get an RV. We did live in an RV up in Napoleon Dynamiteville.
Where's that?
Preston, Idaho is where
Okay.
they filmed Napoleon Dynamite,
Okay,
and
nice.
we lived in that canyon right next to that town, and so we lived there for like a month or 2, and it was amazing. Like no one around, just lived in our RV just up in the canyon right next
Cool.
to a river. I
You
think
had-
we had one other RV that was up there. It was just 2 of us.
So, like, relatively speaking, all of your daily needs can be met living where you were living.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was for both of us, I think, was the most peaceful time I've ever had in my life.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, it was
Nice.
there. And that little town was, of course they had the high school with the lockers the same, and then Pedro's house was right across the street from it, and the person that owned it had a vote for Pedro sign in the window.
Nice.
So, and then the Cutting Corral was still there. Yeah, it was kind of a funny town to live in. They embraced the movie.
Sure.
For sure.
Good for them.
The Poppin' Pins was still there. The bowling alley.
Nice.
But yeah, that was really, really a great time. We enjoyed it. Now looking back, especially as hectic as things are with Sk8bar, we look back on that, and of course, you want it every once in a while.
Right. Now, in this scenario where all of a sudden tomorrow, do you pull yourselves out a little bit and put somebody on payroll to run things, or no? Does that take away some of the joy?
We would definitely spend less time. I love doing Sk8bar, but we literally, that's our lives. So
Yeah.
we would definitely step back a little bit and
Okay.
have people that love it also, like
Sure.
our friend and the door guy Osiris. You know, I'm sure would he wants a bigger role in it and stuff.
Okay.
Which we would be more than happy to do.
I keep forgetting to ask. So if St. Joe to KC is, and vice versa is 45, what's St. Joe to Lawrence? Is it about the same, or is it an hour? Okay.
I think it's about
The back highway says 67 miles. So
Okay.
an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's if you don't get behind some trucker on the one lane highway.
Right. Right.
And then it could be an hour and a half. You never know.
So did you want to throw in anything in on that, or did he cover it?
I can't even conceptualize $10,000, let alone
Right.
80-something million.
Right. Right. Any other, sort of pipe dream projects that it were some time? Forget about money. If some kind of pocket of time opened up for you guys, is there some other idea, or because this is, I mean, to me, a skate bar in St. Joe is kind of equal parts super cool and kind of crazy. Like, not knowing St. Joe, I would think, I don't know if that's gonna stick,
It was scary.
guys.
It's
but
a very scary thing, yeah. But for me, I just want to keep adding more DIY stuff.
Okay.
elements into it.
Cool.
Like, a community garden type of thing. I love using it as like a free school thing as well. If people have a trade they want to teach, that's something I've been wanting to get into.
Cool.
Teaching like how to grow food or how to sew or just like stuff like that we can offer people for free.
Sure.
And we also have we've had 2 free
Every
stores.
season. Yeah.
So every season we do a free store there where people bring in donations, and we have like clothes racks set up.
Yeah.
And people just take what they want and leave what they want, and it's been really successful. People love it. So
Nice.
I love that.
You've had 3 of them?
2.
Okay.
We'll have a summer one, I'm sure, in like July
Nice.
probably or something.
Yeah.
Very nice. So if somebody's listening to this or watching this and hearing about Sk8bar for the first time, I mean, the easiest way to find is just to Google it, or do you have a go-to thing that you tell folks?
There's a Google page. After the Sk8bar Facebook page was our biggest
Okay.
thing, but now it's kind of, we're starting new. So
Yeah, I would just search it on Instagram. It's definitely been up the whole time.
Right.
So,
And is that you guys managing
and
that?
It will come to me or Jess. So
Cool.
but yeah, they can reach out to us, and we also have a number. It's like 816-689-0507. That after 5 we're there, and I can answer those calls. But
Yeah.
before 5 we're never there. So
Right. What about if somebody's thinking, I want to check that place out, but it's gonna the right artist or the right gig is gonna be the thing that gets me in the car and out the door. Is there any kind of anything that's, hey, upcoming gig is such and such? You said you have 5 shows this week, like
yeah, and our Facebook and the Instagram, I update that every day.
Okay,
So,
okay.
And then I'll even usually put out a flyer that has our month, the shows for the whole month.
Okay.
So yeah, anytime if anybody gets a hold of us on Facebook or Instagram, there will always be the flyers.
Right.
Like, we never miss on that.
What about a mailing list? Email. People could subscribe
I haven't thought about that.
and then like a new show or a new special or a new free store or whatever, and then subscribers get
Yeah.
a ding or
That would
something.
be something to look
I don't
into
know.
Also.
Just to remind people we exist.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, all of that stuff is kind of a fine line in that, like, there's obvious value in it, but you also don't want,
To annoy people.
right, with 87 messages a week. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, I got you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've been hitting the Facebook hard the last day because we've only been up for like 24 hours. I think pretty much officially 24 hours again. But I mean, we dealt with Facebook for like 2 weeks trying to get that thing back up.
Did you ever land on a person? Anyway?
Kind of. None of them knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it was just gone yesterday.
Wow.
So I was like, well, I guess we have to do it. Because, like I said, we had already had, I think, 3,600 followers. And
man,
that just all went.
That sucks.
And then Dean Eddington over at Liberty Hall, he said it happened to him.
Really?
And he had it up for like 11 years
of his stuff
somebody
was gone.
made his crash.
Oh, no.
Something COVID related. But anyway, he got
like
reported.
A belief or an opinion on COVID?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but he said that, it was like enough people reported enough times to where they got rid of the thing, and he had to start anew with Liberty Hall, which has been around forever.
Yeah, I just went to a show in October at Liberty for the first time since high school, and I had balcony seats. When's the last time you were up there?
We went to see Sunny Day Real Estate there like this year.
Okay.
It was the first time we had been in a long time.
Did you go upstairs?
Yeah, we were upstairs.
I mean, the seats are so freaking tiny.
Yeah.
I was like, were people this small like back when this place was built?
In the disco era?
Right.
Yeah.
They were.
It was a disco.
We're growing.
Right. Right on. Well, I definitely want to get up and check you guys out and get a shirt. And I appreciate you guys coming down and doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. I mean, if this is your one day of the week and you carve out a couple hours to come do this, that's very generous of you. So I appreciate it. And the only thing I'll ask of you guys is sometime if I could get a pic of the two of you guys, if you have one that you would like to send me, so I can.
Send one.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I can attach it to your episode when it's out here probably in a couple weeks.
Okay.
That one Mark took.
Perfect. All right. So Sk8bar, St. Joe, was it 501? Where did I?
Francis.
501 Francis Street.
Yeah.
Should probably the black curb and people skating.
You'll see the black curb and people skating on
It's the only spot downtown that has just band stickers everywhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
All over the stop sign, all over the poles.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Brandon and Jesse Rock, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Check out Sk8bar, and we'll talk to you soon.
Nice.
Thanks.